All right, guys, we are back with another Nukes Top 5 video, and this one's going to be interesting. I think it's top 5 scary movies based on true stories or something like that. If you like this type of content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, share the content. It means a lot, and we'll keep posting content like this for you guys. And it really, the level of support you guys have shown me this past couple weeks, I've just been, I have no words to express, honestly. The best way I can give you my appreciation is to keep giving you guys content. So let's go ahead and dive into this.
5 horror movies based on true events.
Yeah.
Nightmare
This one's
on
gonna be
Elm
fun.
Street. In the Nightmare on Elm Street film series, horribly burned murderer Freddy Krueger invades the dreams of his unsuspecting victims and kills them in their sleep.
Oh, I know.
Which then causes them to die
Johnny!
in real life. Turns out the idea of someone's death being caused by a nightmare is not.
I feel like I've heard of this one. I feel like Wes Craven got inspiration from a child who was actually experiencing nightmares. His parents told him, or like he told his parents that he was like about to be killed in his dreams. Someone was chasing him in his dreams, and he eventually ended up dead after screaming.
In fact, Nightmare on Elm Street was inspired by a very real news story. In 1981, 26 healthy men from the Asian country of Laos died in their sleep, usually screaming out just before death as if they were having a terrifying dream. Physicians began to label the deaths as, quote, nightmare death syndrome.
That's crazy.
While studying the strange
I didn't know the
nightmare
26
death
men
syndrome, Professor
died.
Shelley Adler was told by one Laotian man, quote, when Laotians don't worship properly, then the spirits of their ancestors don't want to protect them. That's why the evil spirit is able to come and get them.
That is terrifying.
Child's Play. The Child's Play series of
Robert.
movies is about a serial killer who uses Haitian voodoo to possess a child's toy, a doll named Chucky. It soon becomes apparent that Chucky is not your ordinary doll as he begins to terrorize the family.
You stupid bitch!
Well, the story of Chucky the Possessed Doll was inspired by the story of Robert the Doll. Robert the Doll was given to Robert Eugene Otto as a boy. One rumor said that the doll had been given to Otto by a Haitian maid who disliked the family and cursed the doll. As a boy, Otto could often be heard talking to the doll, always referring to Robert as if he were real. Visitors to the house claimed to hear small footsteps coming from the attic where Robert was kept, and the doll would often be found in a different room with no explanation as to how it got there. Otto kept the doll until his death. Robert the Doll now resides in East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida.
Holy shit. My friend, Cinnamon, who has a YouTube channel, by the way, she went over to Florida not too long ago, and she almost had the opportunity to actually see Robert the Doll. She didn't get to go, but she almost had the opportunity to, which is crazy to think about. Yeah, people would write letters to him and stuff.
Every year.
I visited you.
They don't come from fans. In fact, the letters are usually written apologies to Robert the Doll. The writers claim that after visiting the museum and either laughing at or making fun of Robert, they experienced horrible bad luck, including accidents and bad health. They believe that they have been cursed by the spirit of Robert the Doll. In this clip taken in the museum, many believe that Robert can be seen blinking on camera. This was not noticed by the original poster of the video. It was actually later pointed out by observant YouTube commenters.
That is weird.
The hills have
Hell
eyes.
no. Hell no. I didn't know he fucking blinked. Okay, that amps that up a bit, and it doesn't really look like it was edited. That looked like a legitimate blink, like...
While the actual origin of this story doesn't come from the hills of Nevada, it comes from the hills of faraway Scotland and the gruesome tale of Sawney Bean and his clan. Alexander Sawney Bean is said to have been the head of a clan of 50 people living in a cave in the Scottish hills during the 15th century. The clan lived a life isolated from the rest of society, inbreeding to the point that some members of the family had severe deformities. Sawney Bean and his clan are said to have murdered, mutilated, and even eaten over 1,000 people who traveled near their home.
Whoa!
The clan was finally captured by a posse sent out by King James VI of Scotland. Allegedly, the entire clan were taken to Glasgow and Leith, where they were severely tortured and then executed for their crimes. But actual written accounts of the clan and their crimes do exist.
Then they probably were real. Then that's crazy. I actually didn't know that. I just assumed, you know, that they were actually in the deserts and stuff. Wow, I actually didn't know that. That is rather terrifying.
Psycho, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs.
Ed Gein. Yeah, we knew
now,
this
you may
one.
be wondering why I included all of these movies into one entry.
Not just these, and more.
That's because of the simple fact that all 3 of these movies were inspired by one gruesome true story.
Yep.
The life of deranged serial killer, Ed Gein.
Well, I figured he was just perfectly harmless and rather simple.
Ed Gein, also known as the Butcher of Plainsfield, was arrested on November 16, 1957. When police searched his house, they found an absolute horror show.
Yeah.
Ed Gein's furniture was handmade from human bones and covered with human skin. There were skulls that Gein had hollowed out and was using as soup bowls. There were body parts stored in bags and boxes.
This guy, I've heard horror stories about when they found this guy's house. The police had to ask the neighbors to come over and actually help take down the bodies. Because it was so horrible. The cops would actually go outside and just upchuck and throw up everywhere. It's insanity.
But perhaps the most bizarre of all, the authorities found female masks and costumes made of actual human skin. Presumably, Ed Gein would wear these human skin suits when lounging around at home. Ed Gein was deemed mentally unfit to stand trial and died in an insane asylum years later.
He was insane. Yeah, he was absolutely insane.
Of real life. The Possession. The 2012 horror movie The Possession might not be as popular as some of the other titles on this list, but the true story behind the movie might be one of the creepiest tales of all. The Possession movie is about a young girl who gets an antique box that is haunted by an evil spirit. Turns out the ancient case is called a Dybbuk box and is used to trap demons, keeping them locked inside.
Several of you guys asked me, would you ever do a Dybbuk box? And I'm just like, no.
An antique collector named Kevin Manis offered a wine cabinet for sale. He claimed that the wine cabinet was purchased from the estate of a deceased 103-year-old Polish woman and carried a horrible curse of an evil spirit. He said he wanted to get rid of the Dybbuk box after many strange misfortunes had befallen him and his family, including his mother having a stroke after he had given her the cabinet as a gift. While the box was in his home, Kevin claimed to have violent nightmares from which he awoke with scratches and bruises. And later he even claimed to have seen, quote, strange dark creatures lurking around his home. Now, as weird of a sales pitch as that might be for an eBay item, apparently someone did want the Dybbuk box. Kevin Manis sold the cabinet to a student named Iosif Nietzsche. However, Nietzsche put the box back up for sale on eBay only 8 months later, after he and his roommates began having bad luck and nightmares similar to the ones Kevin Manis had. The Dybbuk box was then bought by Jason Haxton. Haxton claims that after owning the box, he began to break out in welts and hives, and even occasionally coughed up blood for no reason.
That's fucking freaky.
Haxton says that eventually he just decided to seal the Dybbuk box inside a metal container and bury it in an undisclosed location. He has never told anyone where he buried the Dybbuk box.
That's fine. It should probably just stay hidden, actually. If it's that dangerous, it just needs to be kept away. That is crazy. The fact that he started coughing up blood and probably had no medical issues whatsoever because he just had the thing in his house. Yeah, no, fuck that. Out of those ones, I gotta say, the Hills Have Eyes one, I think, took the cake for me. I did not know any of that. That right there is next level unsettling. The fact that there was this group of people who were just incest and they would just kill anybody who came up to their cave. Fuck that. That is creepy. The fact that they got captured and tortured and to death and killed. Just, wow. I had no idea. Comment down below, let me know your guys' thoughts. Which one won it for you out of this top 5? Let me know. I'm curious to hear your guys' opinions. Again, if you like this type of content, want some more content like this, always be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share the content. It means a lot, and your guys' support is so meaningful. I will remember it till the day I die. Thank you guys for watching. Keep it retro, and take care. Holy shit, Michael. We made it to We Slaughtered Barbecue. The epitome and the purpose of our trip is to make it to this area.
Oh yes. Food and cattle.
Yep. I just noticed, is that a cemetery way over there, or are those cattle?
No, I think that is a small cemetery.
Holy shit, that's kind of cool and creepy. That thing is massive, but there's not just that one. There are spiders literally
There's
everywhere.
one there. There's one there. There's one over there. And then there's this one here.
Dude, they're everywhere on the property.
Huge.
It's
Oh,
cool.
there's one there.